What is up, guys, and welcome back to Everything Goes podcast. There's some sad things to talk about, but there's also some really interesting things to talk about. So stick tuned to this podcast, guys, and we'll get it going.
Been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
So unfortunately, I think it was Sunday?
Yep, Sunday at 9:45.
We had a tragic event. Iconic guy. Kobe Bryant unfortunately passed away at the age of 41 in a helicopter crash with his daughter. It's very tough to watch on the news right now. It's very tough just in general to listen to.
It's probably one of the biggest sports icons that we've, in our lifetime, have witnessed, that was, loved by everyone, that just passed. I can think of people who have died, like Princess Diana and stuff like that. But, man, as far as sports icons, man, it's huge.
And I had a conversation with somebody, and you think about how much this really shakes up the sports world. Like I was saying, in my lifetime, there's obviously been some, big name people that have passed away at a young age. But someone like this, I think really just, it's a shock, especially how young he was. He's only been retired for 3 years, how good of a player he was, how good of a father he was. Was it 4 children? They just had a newborn.
This isn't just United States. This is worldwide.
Yeah.
This guy was an icon. His last game that he played, there was 10 million people alone in China watching that game.
You think about how many people in the world shoot a paper ball into a garbage and yell Kobe.
Yeah. This was huge. This is probably, like I said, the biggest thing the only other person I could think of that was pretty big was Payne Stewart, the golfer. When they had something wrong with the plane where everyone on board was dead before the plane hit the ground because they had some kind of, it was either, I don't know if it was carbon monoxide or something, it killed all of them.
I think if my plane was going down, not to make a joke out of this,
they were dead before the ground because they were done.
If my plane was going down, I think that's something I would want.
Yeah.
Because the chances of you surviving that plane crash are very slim.
If I remember correctly, they actually had military jets flying alongside of it. It was a private jet, and it either decompressed and everybody died inside because of no oxygen.
Yeah.
But it eventually ran out of gas and crashed.
Wow.
But this by far, it's so huge. As of 1:30 today, more than 2 million people have signed a petition to change the NBA logo. The present logo is a silhouette of the great and Hall of Famer Jerry West, who's still involved with basketball. He works with the Clippers.
Yeah. I think that's that's a very interesting thing they're trying to do. I would be down with that.
Well, 5 years ago, Jerry West was in an interview and he said he wanted his image gone, his silhouette gone. He wanted to give it to Michael Jordan. And 3 years ago, he was asked by Rachel Nichols on the podcast The Jump, and he said he no longer wants to be the NBA logo.
Yeah. People have talked about LeBron James being the logo, Michael Jordan. I think what better way to honor Kobe Bryant than just to really put him in the NBA by making him the logo,
And I think the saddest thing is the stories that you're hearing. Jason Terry was probably one of the worst ones that I've heard that was really touching because he was at the gym that day. His team,
I saw the video
his daughter's
of the gym
team,
finding out.
Well, he's the one that released the information.
And they all took a knee and prayed.
His daughter's team was there. They were playing Kobe's team in the basketball tournament, the Mamba tournament that Kobe ran. Saturday, Jason Terry, who was a veteran of the NBA, was actually sitting with Kobe, watching Kobe coach his daughter. His daughter hit a three-pointer, and she looked at Kobe, and they smiled back and forth.
Yeah.
And then he was outside the arena that day on Sunday, got a message saying what happened. He was in tears. He went in and told the officials there'd be no more basketball today.
Yeah.
Told the official what happened, and that's when they all gathered.
That's crazy.
And they had that.
What's sad is obviously it's sad that Kobe died, but when the rumors of his daughter being in there with him were going around and then they came out and you found out that his daughter was involved in the crash too, it just made things 10 times worse.
It wasn't even just that. And it was, this could have been avoided, and we'll get into that later on, but there was 3 young girls from Kobe's team that were on that.
Yeah, there was parents and other players.
Yeah, his assistant coaches. There was a baseball coach who had more than 700 wins, his daughter, his wife.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, why is he flying his own helicopter?" He's been doing this for a while.
He wasn't flying.
No. I'm saying like.
He wanted to avoid.
There's actually
he wanted to avoid the traffic.
There's an interview with him, I think from 2015, where he says how like this is when he was still playing basketball, to save time and have more time with his family, LA traffic.
It's horrible.
He after practice he would fly back home, go pick up the kids from school. Just he was able to get home quicker and then go spend more time with the kids because when you're on the road, you don't get a lot of that time together.
Well, he said that was the biggest thing that he wanted to do. He wanted to take his girls to school and pick them up. And his wife even said she'll get him. He's like, no, because that 20 minutes with them in the car, it means a lot to him.
Yeah.
And that's one thing you cannot say. He wasn't a good husband. He wasn't a good father. I mean, sure, he had things that happened in Colorado, but that's not to be talked about now.
For a while there too, it's like I kind of got annoyed how like on the news they're like, man, such a good basketball player. Like he's more than just a basketball player. He's a good father. He's got 4 kids, a beautiful wife, and
he was doing more. I guess he did something where he won an award. Was it an Emmy or an Oscar or something
for that short, for that mini documentary he made. Yeah, that was really good.
But the stories that were out there, the one from the ESPN lady that she ran into him at the Knicks stadium or something like that, and then he ran up to her, and like she was gonna ask some questions, and he was asking about her because she was 9 months pregnant, and like how did they phrased it a certain way? He's a daughter's father or something like that because he had 4 girls, but it was just sad. Shaq's another one. He's emotional. He's a mess. He spent a lot of years with Kobe. And the stories that just keep coming out. I mean,
you saw it with a lot of the basketball players too breaking down, and it's really
Doc
sad.
Rivers really touched me too.
That was a hard interview to watch.
Now the Clippers and the Lakers game is canceled for tonight. That was. I guess
LeBron's probably mad too.
Well, he is, and that was, I guess, Vanessa, Kobe's wife, said that it's not a good time, that they shouldn't play the game, and they want to do a tribute to him, and there wasn't enough time to put something big together, and people are making money off of this too. I guess the tickets for StubHub, they jumped up 5 times the asking price.
Well, at my job, I actually had about probably 5 or 6 people call and say, "Do we have any Kobe Bryant stuff?"
That's another thing we're gonna get into too.
Well, technically too, there's rumors that TMZ could technically get a lawsuit on their hands because they never let her know that he was dead.
Well,
and when you put someone's name out like that on the news, you have to let her know first.
Well, they weren't notified by the sheriff's department, and the sheriff's department is actually bashing the heck out of TMZ, saying, "We know it was a big story, but you didn't have the right to release that story without us notifying the next of kin first." And there was reports out there. I think it was ABC News, or I don't want to quote ABC News or CBS. It was one of the bigger affiliates. They came out and said that all the family members were on the plane, the helicopter. And then they recanted that back and changed it. But, that just goes to show you that these people are just looking for the big story. Yeah. And that was
no
crazy.
Respect to them. It's sad just on social media seeing all of the pictures and videos of him and his daughter. And it's going to be something that this isn't going to end for a while. Like, you're going to see this for a couple months. Like, it's just such a shock to the nation, to the world.
You said something about being at work today, and Nike just had a message put out that their online sales have sold out. So they have nothing as far as merch for Kobe Bryant on their online sites now. And right now they're reevaluating the ongoing strategy for its release of the new Kobe Bryant Signature Shoes series, an attempt to limit reselling at an increased price. Because people are going to make money off of this. It's so
stupid.
sad.
That's
it really
sad that
is.
they're using that to their advantage.
But
I mean,
recently, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just recently, I was looking for notes for this podcast, and they released all the updates of what's been going on as of, I guess it was 5 o'clock today. All 9 victims have finally been identified and removed from the crash site. They got the first 3 out the first day, and I guess the crash site was so big and so wide. It was like the length of a football field, but it was like 600 to 500 feet wide. That they couldn't find the other bodies at first. That's why they didn't. At first, it was 5 bodies. Then they realized it was 9 when they got there.
Launched or something.
We'll get into that. Ara Zabanya is I guess that's how you pronounce his name. He's the 50-year-old pilot. He was the pilot of the helicopter. He was a licensed commercial pilot for more than 10 years, had over 8,000 flight hours.
I actually heard the little audio clip of the last things that the pilot said.
The fog in that area was so thick that the reports are saying that 2 witnesses, one witness said that the fog was so thick it was like if you took the water out of a swimming pool and put milk in it. That's how thick it was that you couldn't see in front of you.
I heard technically that a lot of the planes were grounded. That technically they shouldn't even have been flying.
Well, they grounded the state police helicopters. They usually have helicopters up at all times. They grounded their helicopters. That's how bad it was.
And then I heard on like, you know, how the radar, how like you could see it almost looks like they circled a couple times
Gonna
as if
get
they
into
were
that
going
too.
to try and land.
Another witness said that they heard the helicopter, but they couldn't see it. That's how thick the stuff was.
And that's crazy to think about too, because like at first I think all of us were like, okay, well, what's wrong with the helicopter? And when you found out that there was nothing wrong with the helicopter, that's just how big the fog was. Like, just imagine being on a helicopter and you think you're fine, and then just boom, just like that.
Well, we're gonna get into that too, because there's a flight tracker information that thinks that there was something wrong at the end, but we'll get into that. So the pilot, I think his name is Zabanya, and I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but that's what it sounds like. He requested and was granted permission to fly under special visual flight rules, which he was licensed to do, meaning they can fly without being able to see just by flying by like controls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was in communication with the tower the whole time. From the time they left at 9:20. They left, I think it's John Wayne Airport they left. He was in contact with the tower the whole time, but when he got up to when he got up to the Los Angeles Zoo and like the Glendale area, that's where the fog clicked in, and the Southern California controllers, they took over communications and they couldn't get in any communication with them. So the flight departed at 9:06 a.m. from John Wayne Airport. The altitude was 500 feet, speed at 163 miles an hour. At 9:20, the helicopter slows down and circles multiple times near Glendale. And there's actually video that people on the ground actually have video of his helicopter. They were at about 100 feet circling the Glendale area for like 15 minutes, just circling.
Yeah. Where were they trying to go? Do they know where Kobe's house is?
No. At that point, Kobe and them were already in the helicopter.
Yeah.
But I think the fog was so bad. There's two reports. The fog was bad, and there was another report that I saw that they were actually waiting because there was other aircraft flying in the area, planes.
Yeah.
And they had to hold their pattern. The different sources are saying different things. There was no black box in this helicopter, by the way. So they were circling multiple times, and then they were at 150 feet at about 72 miles an hour. They were circling. At 9:33, the helicopter accelerates and gains altitude and heads north about 800 feet, 148 miles an hour, climbs to 1,400 feet, 100 feet, and 160 miles an hour. At 9:45, that's when they transferred towers in the south. The Southern California air traffic controller no longer could contact them. All they can do is visually see them on the screen. Mm-hmm. They couldn't talk them. And they think that's because of the mountains and the fog. At that time, the helicopter was at 2,000 feet and 152 miles an hour. Now, the flight radar recorder is called the Flight Radar 24, has the helicopter at 1,400 feet. And data revealed that the chopper was out of control for 15 seconds before impact, accelerating to a speed of 184 miles an hour and descending at a rate of 4,000 feet per minute.
Jeez.
Which is moving.
Yeah.
So something happened between the time they got up there past Glendale after they circled to get up there. They were at 2,000 feet, came down to 1,400 feet, and then within 15 seconds was out of control and crashed.
Yeah.
And they said
that's crazy.
His flight appeared to go on with no problems all the way up to the Los Angeles Zoo area near Glendale, like I said. Robert Dietschy, who was a longtime pilot, aeronautical engineer, and former airline executive, said this was totally avoidable, and he has gone as far as saying irresponsible.
I mean, with that fog, you got to think. You got to land or keep them grounded.
He said, here's one of the most important people in the world who comes to a tragic end like this, and you say, why? What the hell happened? You know, most people are saying that this was they're saying that they're kind of putting it on Kobe, too. They're saying that, sometimes you get these high-end clients, and no matter what the situation is, if they think in their mind it's safe and the pilot's licensed, let's go and let's do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these pilots, they're commercial pilots. They're being paid to fly these people all over around. There's probably good money for them.
Yeah.
They're probably figuring, well, I've done this several hundred times.
Yeah, why
Helicopters can fly in bad weather. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
Not realizing that the fog was that thick. They said the debris field was bigger than a football field, spanning over 500 to 600 feet. Impact crater located at 1,085 feet above sea level.
It's
So
such
it's
a
tragic.
it's such a sad story. It really is. No matter what happened, it's a sad story. I mean, just thinking about what was going through their minds and just it's tough to think about. You know, it's something I don't know.
And you know, it's
What makes it even worse, they just had a newborn baby, and to leave, you know, there's people out there like, oh, well, she's left with a lot of money. Money doesn't buy love. Okay, she lost her husband and her daughter, and for some people to say that, it's a tragic, really.
and you know, the thing that's really sad is you know, he died with his daughter, you
Yeah.
know, and there wasn't even like a chance to protect her or nothing, you know. It's got to be, it's just, I don't know. I couldn't, you know, my biggest fear is flying.
Yeah,
And it's because of situations like that. Because if something happens in an airplane,
you can't control it.
it's out of your control. Nothing you can do.
I try and think too, like, man, like hitting the ground that hard in a helicopter, you know, if you're strapped in, like, there should be a good chance you can live. But then you think also, like, if you're going, like, what you said, like 180 miles an hour, and you're just
And out of control.
right into the ground,
And-
like, it probably launches you, and you.
Like they showed aerial photos of the crash site, and you couldn't even tell it was a helicopter.
I haven't even seen the photos yet.
I mean, it impacted the ground so hard that there's no way you could have said to me that was a helicopter.
I want to know how they identified him so quick
Probably
by
by
it being his helicopter.
well, they probably had a manifest. They probably have to log who was on the helicopter before it took off. There has to be like some kind of a manifest that says like how many passengers and like a flight plan too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't have a black box, but the pilot did have a laptop that had all the information logged in as far as where they were going and everything.
Yeah.
It's just, you
It's a
know,
sad story.
my thing is like there's the man upstairs controls what happens.
Yeah.
You know, the hourglass of life is controlled by one person.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to live every day like it's your last because you just don't know.
There was that guy on ESPN that was live he was broadcasting, and he was getting choked up, and he was like, he even cursed, and he was like, you know, apologizing, but he was like, you got to let everything go between people you love, because at any minute you
Yeah.
could just go.
And there's a lot of feuds out there, like the Kendrick Perkins and Kevin Durant. They were having a feud recently, and Kendrick he just tweeted to Durant like, "This is over. Basically, I don't want to do this no more." And whether it's going to hold up or not, or whether it's just because of the situation now.
Yeah.
But life's too short. It really is, man. I
It
mean,
is, man.
you never know. And like
You
I said,
live every day like it's your last, because you're blessed to just live at least one day at a time.
and no matter what you believe or what your belief in as far as your faith is, our time's marked.
Mm-hmm.
Our destiny is set,
Yeah.
and our story will end sometime. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of when and when. So
It's a sad story. You know, our thoughts and prayers are to his family and to everyone that he knew.
but I you know what? We always talk about the GOAT and who's the greatest of all time as far as basketball.
He was really good.
And somebody made a comparison, you know, and I saw a video the other day of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, like they're doing their shots. Like he'll start out as Michael doing the shot and Kobe's finishing the shot. Like their game was identical.
Yeah.
It's like Kobe followed Michael as far as his shot. But I think if you took Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James,
Yeah.
and you said of those three, who do you think is the best? And I'm not saying it's because the guy passed away. I think Kobe Bryant is the best of all three of them. I think as far as his game goes, because
He's definitely up there to talk about.
he has something that Michael Jordan and LeBron don't. He shot the three with great numbers.
He gave it a lot of heart too. Like just his whole workout. I mean, I was watching that one video where he talked about, you know, you get up early, you get to the gym, you go home, you go back to the gym like at least 2 times, 3 times a day, and just the heart he had for the game and the work ethic he had. You know, it's a sad day.
Well, someone said on I mean every radio station has something,
Oh, it's all over the news.
but somebody said Kobe Bryant was totally gifted, and he practiced like he had no talent.
Yeah, that's where like the greats are. I mean, like Derek Jeter said, you know, we all know how good Derek Jeter was, but in his mind, every day he practiced hard like he was about to lose his job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have those people that have the God-given talent and they practice hard, like harder than anyone else wants it.
Yeah.
That's the greats right there. I mean, Michael Jordan. I mean, he practiced a lot too. You know, you can see in the documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
It's just people like that. I mean, you have people that are really good, but they don't really want to put the work ethic in, and they could have all this potential, but they fall up short because they don't want to put the work in.
But there's a lot of, like, I heard a video, Kobe is actually talking about his routine every day, and it was amazing. I mean, he was up at like 4 in the morning,
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah.
working out in the gym, and then going and doing some shooting at an empty facility, and then flying home or driving home, taking his girls to school, going back to the arena or back to the gym to shoot some more. And, you know, you see these guys like you go to a basketball game and they're launching 3-pointers, and he worked on every part of his game, posting up. He worked on his mid-range shot. He worked on his foul shots. He worked on everything.
Yeah.
And I heard stories about when I never saw this, but when he shot the air balls in the Utah game, apparently. He shot 2 air balls in the Utah game, and that pushed him to become better. And it's just was an amazing player. He's one of a kind that I don't know if you'll ever see someone with that much talent again.
Yeah, a true legend, someone that's gonna be missed dearly. You know, we're gonna move on.
He's definitely a legacy that you're never gonna hear the end of ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna move on for that. Like I said, our thoughts and prayers are to his family. Gonna move into some NFL talk now. Let's try and brighten the mood up. It's a sad time right now.
Well, they're talking about even doing a halftime show for Kobe Bryant now.
Yeah.
And did you hear about Mr. Peanut was supposed to die? That little icon symbol for the Mr. Peanut. He was supposed to die off of a fiery crash off a cliff. Now they're totally changing the commercial now.
Well, I didn't know he was supposed to die.
Yeah, Mr. Peanut was supposed to die, and now they're altering it. Instead of showing him dying, they're gonna show a 30-second ad of his funeral instead, because they don't want to really bring up anything about crashing now.
Yeah, because it happened.
But I guess they're going in a new direction with their Mr. Peanut. He's not going to be the symbol for them anymore. He's been around forever. He's like 104 years old.
Well, some big headline news that happened in the NFL the other day is that the LA Chargers are moving on from Phillip Rivers, which shocked me when I saw that. I mean, I didn't really shock me. It was just more like a exciting feeling to see that happen. You know what? I was talking with someone the other day. This is going to be the biggest offseason for QBs, I think, because if you count how many teams have QB problems, right, I'm going to name a list for you right now. Dallas, Dak Prescott. Saints, no idea who their quarterback is going to be. Tampa Bay, will they sign Jameis Winston? Cincinnati Bengals, will they draft or keep Andy Dalton? Miami Dolphins, will they keep Ryan Fitzpatrick and Rosen or draft a quarterback? We can keep going, you know what I mean?
Cincinnati's drafting a quarterback. They're taking Joe Burrow.
And then there's LA. Will they do Tyrod Taylor or draft a QB?
Where
will Phillip Rivers go?
Reports
and
of Cam Newton going to LA.
Yeah, and that's another one. Where will Cam Newton go? Where will Tom Brady go? Where will Teddy Bridgewater go? There's so many QBs right now that have a big question mark.
There's not that many
them.
openings though.
Exactly. So it's a very, very interesting time, and I'm just ready for the offseason to start, because I want to see, within the next month and a half, what's going to happen.
Well, it seems like the Saints are going in the direction that Drew Brees is going to retire.
We'll talk about that then. We'll talk about Phillip Rivers for a little bit.
I think you're going to cry.
I'm not going to
That's
cry.
I'll tell you another tragedy.
I'll tell you. Phillip Rivers, he just moved his family to Florida because he got family down there, so he's trying to be closer to his family.
Well, he was actually commuting back and forth during the season.
So, there's some big, speculation that he might end up going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which would be very interesting because that's my division. So, this, we never play Phillip Rivers. To play him twice a year would be cool.
But my thing is going from L.A. to Tampa Bay, they both have pretty decent talent. So he's going to go back basically to the same setup. Great receivers, great tight end.
I'd even go
no
further.
line, no running game.
I'd even go further to say that
LA had a running
Tampa
game.
Bay has a better receiving core than L.A. because all you had was Keenan Allen.
Yeah, but L.A. they never stayed healthy.
Yeah.
You
think you got a good tight end in Tampa Bay if he stays healthy.
If he stays there.
Yeah, because there's speculation he might go to the Patriots. But then you have Goodwin, obviously, really good receiver
Evans.
out of Penn State. Evans, who obviously is top 5 receiver almost every year. So
and their defense is pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. The only thing that stinks about them is no running game and no offensive line.
Yeah, they really don't have a running game, so it's just something they should probably draft.
And Jameis Winston, let's face it, he's more mobile than a Phillip Rivers.
And I don't think Jameis Winston's going to stay just because how the head coach said, if we can win with this quarterback, we can win with any quarterback.
Winston, believe it or not, I think Winston would be a good fit with Carolina. I think
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where he's gonna go.
He throws more. Cam's a running guy. He likes to run.
Yeah.
I think Winston has our pizza's here, by the way. I think Winston has a better arm. I mean, he threw for 30 touchdowns. He did throw 30 picks,
And
but he's a gunslinger.
He led the NFL in the passing yards too. I don't know. I really have no idea where Jameis Winston's gonna end up. But with Phillip Rivers, he does really have good stats. I mean, not really like the best record. I mean, he's 38. He's younger than some. I think he's younger than. No, I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm gonna take that back. I don't have my stat guy here today. He started every game since 2006, which is pretty impressive. He's set to hit free agency in March, obviously, so they let him go. They struggled in 2019, though. I mean, that team was predicted to go to the Super Bowl. They finished 5-11.
It's just
5-11
every
with a
year
team
they're
with-
projected to go high, and then they don't. I don't understand. Like, they don't finish where their projection has them.
He had an 88.5 QB rating, which is the third lowest of any full season of his career. But with the team, there's so much talent. I mean, the running back game with Gordon Eckler, you got Keenan Allen, you have Henry who came back. He was injured. He's gonna be a good.
Gordon
tight
might
end.
be gone. I think he's a free agent.
If I was Gordon, I wouldn't even want to leave because he didn't even prove anything to go get signed. I mean, obviously he's always a good threat.
Gordon, imagine if Gordon went to Tampa Bay with Phillip Rivers.
That'd be good.
They need a running back.
Tampa Bay has money to get both of them.
And with the weapons that they have, I would say to Rivers, look, you're not getting a big deal, dude. You're old.
I give him a 2-year max.
I'd give you like maybe 10 to 12 million
on a 2-year deal.
And then I'd give Phillip Rivers. I'd give Gordon a lot of money. I
think Tampa Bay has.
If you give him 12,
lowest,
give him 12 a year.
I think they have the third highest cap space. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, they have. I mean, you could give him a 12-year deal. I mean, a $12 million deal.
Now they can turn
for 2 or 3 years.
They can turn to veteran Tyrod Taylor, or the 2019 5th-round pick. They had Easton Stick. I have no idea who that is.
No, and I don't. They have to have a pretty good draft this year. They got to be in the top 15.
They have the number 6 overall pick, and
then they can get a quarterback this year.
They can. There's a lot of good options. And a lot of the drafts, mock drafts, are saying that there's not much talent at the Burrows, which I'm a little shocked about because there's a lot of good talent. I think
that Herbert's coming out from Oregon, right?
Yeah, he's good too. He's really good.
Yeah.
And you also have Jalen Hurts, who no one's talking about him.
But you know what? It doesn't matter what you do in college. I mean, sure, that's great. How many good quarterbacks come out of college and then carry that over to the pros in their first year?
Not many. I think, and it takes at least 2 years.
Don't get me wrong. The kid from Arizona had a good year.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
he did.
He had a great year.
He played well
for a rookie. Yeah,
for a rookie. Yeah, because you don't see a lot of rookies. I think
Dak Prescott had a good year.
I think Dak Prescott was the last rookie quarterback to have such a winning season like that.
Yeah, but the thing we'll get into Dak too. I think Dallas is screwing themselves big time because, like, his deal is gone from like $33 million now.
Yeah.
He wants Patrick Mahomes money, which
is stupid.
Kansas City came out today.
I don't think he said he wants Patrick. I think he said he wants more money because Patrick Mahomes is going to get a record
Mahomes going to
deal.
get 40.
But he's not on the same level as Patrick Mahomes.
The Chiefs came out and said that Patrick Mahomes isn't going to get a deal till next year.
They say within the year.
Yeah, so he's going to be in the 40s.
He's going to break history.
Yeah.
Dak.
I mean, look,
they're not on the same level.
If my thing is too, as I don't know what the cap space is for Kansas City, but if you give someone $40 million, that's majority of your cap. You might as well just say goodbye to the playoffs because you're not going to be able to fill the holes with good talent unless you just get younger kids off the draft.
I think Mahomes is going to be that guy too, like almost like a Tom Brady, where he's not going to need much talent, that he makes stuff happen.
Yeah.
So I think he's set, but I think in Dak's situation, Dak needs to take a lower cut because you need all the help you need.
I sent a text message. They had a question on 105.3 to Fan today about money and stuff, and I said, the love of guaranteed money trumps championships anymore. Hashtag sub 500 records. Because that's what's going to happen. When you pay these guys the big money and you can't put the pieces around them.
And we talk about that all the time. If you want to have a winning team, you have to be a guy that's going to take a lower pay cut so you can get other talent.
Look at Tom Brady. I mean, he's done it for years.
Would you want to be the highest paid quarterback and probably never win a Super Bowl? Or would you want to take a little bit of money, get money from endorsements, and surround yourself with key pieces?
That's my whole thing, though. I don't think these guys care anymore. I think the love of the guaranteed money is what they're playing for now. And it's a shame because the fans are the ones that really pay for all this.
Well, will Drew Brees be back this year is a big question mark. I'm going to give you my point of view of it, but every year, typically he does take a month off before he gives the team an answer. he's getting older. He reevaluates the season, spends time with his family, decompresses. But this year, it's just a little different in his tone, and a lot of people, he's going to be a free agent. A lot of people just don't really know what's going to happen with Drew Brees. And
He's not going to let anyone know for a while. So
no. My biggest thing is I love Drew Brees, and I don't want to get rid of Drew Brees. But at the same time, I'm really excited because my whole life watching the Saints has been Drew Brees. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm really excited to see, okay, what do the Saints do now if he leaves? Because there's still a lot of talent on that team. So who are they going to bring in to lead this team to the Super Bowl? That's what makes me excited.
I think you got to go with Hill.
So we have a little interruption there. See, the thing is, Teddy is a really good quarterback that I think can win for us now. But I do agree with you. I really do like Taysom because, a lot of people are like, oh, like, you don't really see him throw. But when you do see him throw, it's a missile. And he has a cannon of an arm. And he's mobile and faster than Teddy. I think Teddy, this is what I think is going to happen. Okay. Obviously you could say Drew Brees is going to retire and they're going to make Teddy Bridgewater the quarterback. But my thing is, Sean Payton really likes Taysom Hill.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of him, but I just think he is really good.
My opinion here is I think Drew Brees is going to come back on a 1-year deal. That means Teddy's going to leave, and he's going to train Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's going to be the next quarterback for that franchise. But at the same time, there's rumors where the Saints have been coming out and saying that we will open up Drew Brees with open arms and that Taysom Hill is a franchise quarterback. So there's rumors saying that if Drew Brees comes back, they might possibly trade Taysom Hill away. And if that happens and Teddy leaves, it's kind of like, what are you doing now? Now you're going to have to go to the draft.
I'm listening to you, and I'm watching the Sixers game right now. The Sixers had a whole moment of silence, and they brought Kobe's number 33 jersey from Lower Merion out in the court, and they did a whole documentary on it. And you know how they bring someone out to ring the bell in the beginning of the game, and then the floor breaks and all that?
Yeah.
They put his jersey next to the bell, and nobody rang it. And it's an eerie silence.
Yeah. My thing with Brees, too, is, despite his age, he continues to play at a high level. I mean, he's earned his 4th straight Pro Bowl selection, 13th of his career. And then he leads the league in completion percentage at 74.3 for the 3rd year in a row. It's just like,
I think his whole goal is one thing, and it's a Super Bowl. And it's either the pass interference gets him, or something happens where they get close, but they just don't get there.
And I think he's starting to get tired. You know what I mean? Like
it's a long season.
You think every year he battles so hard to get so close, and then just keeps coming. And let's be real, you only have a good team for so long before you can't get there anymore.
Championships aren't guaranted,
and
it's the fight to get there, and it's a battle to get there.
If you look at his career, if he retires today, instant Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about how many records he's broken.
Yeah.
You've won a Super Bowl.
Oh, speaking of which, did you get my text today?
No.
The NBA decided that they're going to put Kobe Bryant in the Hall of Fame this year.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
That's creative for them to do that.
Yeah.
I hate to keep going back to Kobe, but all this stuff keeps coming up in my head.
No. I saw that the Browns hired Eagles' Andrew Berry as the GM on a 5-year contract. I think make him the youngest one. They hired him as their new executive vice president and football operations general manager. The Browns cleared house after they went 6-10 this year in the 2019 season. They fired both general manager John Dorsey and head coach Freddie Kitchens, who just got with the Giants as the tight end coach, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't been in the playoffs in 17 years. It's the longest streak in the NFL. I liked Dorsey. Dorsey, he was hired in December. And he made a lot of blockbuster moves. Okay, he had wide receiver Odell Beckham, running back Kareem Hunt, they already had Chubb, which was already good, defensive end Oliver Vernon, and defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson. That's a good team that he put together in a year and a half, 2 years, something like that.
I agree.
So I was like a little shocked. I mean, Barry's first order of business will obviously be able to make decisions on the notable free agents because I think Kareem Hunt's a free agent, offensive tackle Greg Robertson, safety Demarius Randall, which is a big one. You want to keep him. Linebacker Joe Schaubert. So those are some big free agents, but, he was on the...
This is going to be a very interesting offseason. Once everything kicks off with free agents and you get the draft and everything coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of teams that are making the big moves. Did you see... The Giants, Jason Garrett added another Cowboys coach to his roster, and they're all saying that Jason Garrett's building his team so that they can give that head coach after a year a boot, and he takes over just like he did to Wade Phillips in Dallas.
No, I didn't see that. I saw that all the head coaches that got fired this year are now on teams. Ron Rivera went to Washington. Freddie Kitchens went to the Giants. Jason Garrett went to the Giants. The Giants head coach that got fired, I believe he went to the Broncos as the offensive coordinator. So everybody got signed, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl.
I am, and I'm looking forward to. I hope it's a good scoring event, and I hope it's close. And I want to see Andy Reid get his title.
Just another superstitious thing about Brees retiring is that Russell Wilson stepped down his starting role this year at the Pro Bowl and allowed Drew Brees to do the opening drive where he threw a touchdown pass to Michael Thomas, nevertheless, who had a really good game. So did Jared Cook. I don't know if you watched that, but two good receivers, flex those muscles. Michael Thomas, best receiver in the NFL.
Well, I see.
So that's just another thing I was thinking.
I see. Okay, just to change the subject a little bit. I see O'Brien for the Texans named himself as the GM since he's been doing the job. So that solidifies his job as the head coach for a while too, because the GM can't fire the coach because he is both. So
wait, he has been both, right, for a while?
Since last year.
I mean, he can name himself as the GM, but the ownership can still fire him.
The ownership loves him.
I don't think he's a bad coach.
No. And I got to give a big shout out to our last guest that we had on, Sean Sharif. The morning sports radio ratings came out today, and the Sean and RJ show went from number 11 to number 9 in the nation as far as the top shows in the country.
Oh, wow.
Boomer and Gio are number 1, and the Angelo Gattoni, which I can't stand that guy, is number 4. That freaking loudmouth Italian from the Eagles.
Really?
Number 4.
Well, so big things are happening in MLB. Dusty Baker is becoming the new Astros manager. He's an old man. He's an old man, but there's a lot of talent with that old man.
Yeah, he's an old man with a lot of talent.
He's managed 22 seasons in the bigs. So the San Francisco Giants, Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, and the Washington Nationals. And he owns a lifetime .540 winning percentage.
I think it's a good pickup. I think he's going to be able. He's an old head who can deal with the media. Let's face it, there's going to be a lot of questions about what happened. So he's the perfect guy to put in there. You didn't want to put a young guy in there that can't handle the media. No. So he's going to be able to eat the media up, and he's going to be able to keep that. Let's face it, that team's built for a championship run.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they're going to be set. So I think it was a good sign.
He's a 3-time NL Manager of the Year. He's got a good team on there. Extra, and like you said, dealing with the whole sign stealing and everything. I think it is a good. Training. I think it's good. And, on the plus, the Astros do remain plenty of talented from last year's team. They won 107 games last year.
Speaking of baseball, National League is trying to bring the DH back. It's
popping
see up again. The Players Association are on board with it, but the owners are not. So it's going to come down to what they decide. But
I think they should.
The owners don't want it because it's 15 more spots they have to roster now. On one for each team, really.
I think it's cool to see the pitchers hit, but let's be real. There's not many pitchers that can even hit. It's just a waste of an at-bat. It really is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, it's cool to see Madison, Bumgarner, and Greinke, and these guys that can occasionally hit a home runs. But a lot of times it's just your pitcher goes up there, he either bunts or strikes out. It's just, why not put a DH? And I think DH is such an awesome experience because it also gives another person a job. You know what I mean? Gives another person opportunity, helps your team too. But the Mookie Betts trade rumors are really heating up now. They're really getting serious between the Red Sox, and especially Padres. They're still talking with the Dodgers, but the Padres are the real ones that are really coming in right now. There's a sense that the Red Sox are more serious than ever right now about a trade. Trading Mookie Betts, that I'm talking about. But, yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah. I'm looking at this note right now. It says Red Slugger Eugenio Suarez injures shoulder in swimming pool and has surgery.
What the heck? That is a thing, though. I've seen the swimmers in high school. They hyperextend their arms.
He suffered an injury recently in a swimming pool, according to the Reds. He's expected to be ready to play near the beginning of the regular season. He posted highs in home runs, 49, and OPS of .930 last season.
The rumors are that the Padres would part ways with Will Myers, 2 young major leaguers, and 1 prospect. The 2 big leaders would include a combination of 1 outfielder between Manuel Marget and Josh Naylor, if that's how you say there, and 1 starting pitcher between. I'm not even gonna try and say their names, dude. No, I'm not even gonna try it. It's just 2 crazy last names I've never seen in my life. I was talking with this other day. I think if they can keep Will Myers, that would make their lineup even more better. But Betts, in the final season of his control, agreed to a 1-year deal worth $27 million, which was on January 10th, which we talked about.
They still didn't sign a coach yet.
No, they have not. You know, and
That's odd.
They never released, like, MLB's never like showed the what's gonna happen with Boston and his team.
Because pitchers and catchers report like the second week of February.
Why have they not come out with like what's gonna happen to that team yet? Why is that taking so long?
Yeah.
You know, Betts is 27 years old, 4-time All-Star. He hit .295 last year with 29 home runs. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's an amazing player. I mean, come to New York. Oh, fudge. Hit my mic. But
Is that what that was?
that is what that was. But one team that I'm really excited for and that is really making some really big moves right now is the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, yeah.
They signed Nick Castellanos,
$64 million.
$64 million, 4-year deal.
Mike Moustakas for $64 million.
So he was originally third base, a really good third base, and now he's an outfielder.
They
But the Reds could
signed-
have central they could really take over the NL Central right now.
They're gonna be good.
I mean, they added 3 big bats to their team this year.
Shogo Akiyama, whatever his name is, from Japan,
Yeah, it was,
and pitcher Wade Miley.
Yeah, well, Castellanos, he's 28. He's in the prime of his career.
Dude, they're gonna be good.
I'm trying to think of they have a guy on their team who played last year with them. I think he played second base, and I came from Miami, and I really just can't think of his name right now. But I could think about it because last year, you know, they would do the jerseys where they had the no sleeves, and they would all be like showing their guns off and
Yasiel
stuff.
Puig?
No, it's not Yasiel Puig. It's Dietrich. How do you say his name? Derek Dietrich, something like that.
Dietrich,
dude, he had a great season last year. He even put on a little bit of swagger too. He was doing some bat flips and got, you know, the bench.
Dude, they got
cleared
Trevor
for.
Bauer too.
Yeah, dude, that's right, they did.
Luis Castillo.
They got him in the Yasiel Puig deal, didn't they?
They still have Sonny Gray too.
What happened to Yasiel Puig? You haven't seen him get signed yet.
He would look good in the Yankees uniform, I'll tell you that.
But like you said, they got Mike Moustakas. They got Castellanos now. They have a good team. Do they still have Billy Hamilton? Or did Billy Hamilton go to the Royals?
I'm not seeing him on the roster.
I don't know.
Seeing that. But they're going to be a team to reckon with, and they're always there anyway. I mean, they're not the team that like fades and folds. But
Well, just
Joey Votto, man.
Yeah, you do Joey Votto too. Joey Votto, who I wish that
Alex Blandino.
They should just re-sign Yasiel Puig. You know, he had a good relationship there. He played well for them. Joey Votto liked him.
They have Freddie Galvis.
That's right. They did sign Freddie Galvis, who came off a really good year last year. Stupid dogs. Stupid dogs. They knocked my phone down. But that's all my notes I have today, man.
I think it's time to end this. My phone's acting up anyway.
All right, guys. Well, that was today's podcast.
It was a little loud and out of control.
Freaking dogs are staring at me right now. They're just like staring at me. But this will be up on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You know, share the love, guys. You know, share it. Comment on our pages. You know, follow us on all our social media, Twitter, Instagram. But we hope you guys enjoy this podcast. And like we said, prayers out to Kobe's family. But we'll see you guys next time.